Afternoon, everybody. How we doing? Afternoon, Andy, Proster, David. All good? Oh, what's that? Sorry, I'm just turning something off. Don't know what that was. Weird. Anyway. Afternoon, Diamond. How's everybody doing? All had a good morning? Anything exciting? Traded anything? I've not done anything else this morning. Just kept basically the profit in the bank from this morning. Just done 1.5, well, just under 2% basically off of those trades this morning. Mainly the DAX. All good, cool. So we not had a lot of movement this morning. We had US dollar. We had the PPI figures, which came out negative, but not a lot of movement off of the back of that at all, which is not unusual for an FOMC week. We tend to get, like I said yesterday, we tend to get a fairly accumulative couple of days ahead of FOMC while the market's sort of waiting to see what they make of FOMC, and then we get the movement on the Wednesday evening. So hopefully tomorrow. Indices have rallied this morning as well. So we had the initial drop, which I traded this morning, and then we basically put in a bullish engulfing, didn't turn around and look back, and just shot off. So very, very, very high push this morning. I didn't trade that. I was looking for short opportunities and didn't really fancy anything, actually, to be honest. So I did have these oil trades this morning. Remember, I put that buy limit in place. So I would put this buy limit here for the gap fill. Came down, and literally, I don't know, I haven't had a look at exactly how much it missed me by, but it touched me. It touched me basically. Look. So there's the spread. There's my limit order. Literally, it must have been 0.111110111 of a micro lot. It missed me by. Didn't gather me up, and it's shot off. So bloody annoying. Anyway, so yeah, I missed that. Didn't get on it. Very frustrating. I should have just put it like, literally, if I'd have done that with it, I'd be in. But I've missed it now. So, missed the buy limit. I've got a buy stop placed on oil. So, we've done the gap fill now, basically. So, I'm looking to get in off the back of the gap fill. In fact, I'm going to close that order out and put a smaller one in. Because that's too big. So I'm going to put my stop under the low now on that. 97. Oops, 99. Oh, God, why does it do that every time? So yeah, I mean, sky's the limit on it, really. Just stick it out there somewhere. And stop below the low. So it's 1% risk. So if we get that reversal alert today on oil, I shall be getting in because we've done the gap fill basically. So next stop really is back up to that gap fill there. So going for just over a 2% reward on that trade. So that's what I've done today. UK 100, but I think it will hit stop loss. It's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, it is. UK 100. Yeah, I mean, FTSE should be a short as well. These should all be really shorts, but doesn't seem to be wanting to go very short at the moment. We're sitting in an accumulation at the minute across the board. So just not any direction. Nobody's interested in going anywhere. For some reason, I'm in Aussie dollar Swiss shorts, looking for an M pattern on M5. Aussie dollar Swiss. Yeah, not quite sure I'd be in a short on the Aussie Swiss, but could be. Difficult to tell with the Aussie, but yeah, certainly going long at the moment. Hear voices coming from my office. Pulled out my gun. It was you. Oh dear. As long as you didn't shoot me, that's all right. Afternoon, Neo, Senny. Right, so have a quick look at the markets. We've got 20 minutes until the open. ADRs today. We had the US dollar yen obviously earlier. This hasn't gone anywhere at all. So you can see the US dollar yen trade I took this morning. Came out a break even on that one. Glad I did. Just pulled back, came back down. Nice W gone in. I think we're going to probably want to come back up and retest these highs. So this looks like a fairly nice little long at the minute. But it's difficult to tell what's going to happen at the open. It might be a good idea actually to have a little pending order above the highs there. So basically if this W pattern pulls back into here and then pushes, nice little long trade there. Only going to be sort of like 30 odd pips, about half an ADR. But yeah, looks pretty good. KT closed a gap. KT, what do you mean by KT? What's KT? I'm still convinced we will see Aussie lower to collect the stop orders below. Yeah, it might do. Market does what the market wants. Might go lower, might not. Who knows? Nice tweezer bottoms there. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. That's a nice signal. Right, so ADRs we were looking at, weren't we? Pound CAD. Pound CAD. So we hit ADR, reversed, and we are still sitting sideways. We've just literally gone into accumulation on everything today. So yeah, Pound CAD's quite a nice looking short at the minute. We haven't quite got back up into this gap. So this was a lovely 3-day accumulation. And then we had this big, strong push down. I would expect them to come and test this. So if we get 125 on Pound CAD today, that would be a really nice looking short. You'll be extended on the hourly RSI by the time we get there as well. Won't be extended on the 4 hour. But that's looking like a nice little push up into there. If we can get into that zone, that'd be a really nice short. If you look at this, obviously we are down. So this is where I'd expect next leg to start from. If we're going to continue this move down on the pound, which doesn't look like there's anything stopping it at the moment. Excuse me. Pound Swiss, same thing. Pushing up into there. This isn't as nice. We had the accumulation and drop, so that was a pretty nice move to the downside. So potentially we've got some sellers in there. It's just been very, 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 very sideways for a week now. So not really got any directional bias on it, but pound still down. We haven't had any strong movement on the Swissy. So again, 125 ADR. If we get 125 ADRs on these two today, Pound CAD and Pound Swiss, good looking opportunities for shorts. That's all on ADRs. Kangaroo tail. Oh, okay. On M1. Can't see one myself, but US dollar CAD running amok, bleeding heavy seesaw. US dollar CAD. Nice reversal alert on US dollar CAD. Nice looking M pattern. Potentially looking good to form a head and shoulders on that one. If we come back up and retest. So if we come back up and retest this gap here. See, this has just come out of that propulsion move. Sellers have stepped in, started pushing down. I am more long than short though on US dollar, but I think today, because obviously we're a day ahead of FOMC, could go anywhere really. More likely to consolidate. We've got no other news this afternoon apart from Lagarde at 3:15, and then tomorrow pre-market we've got CPI on the CAD and retail sales. So we've got movement tomorrow afternoon as well on the US dollar pairs. But I think what they'll probably do is just keep it in a consolidation until FOMC, until tomorrow evening. So we'll see what happens on those. M15 you're looking at, were you? Yeah. Nice shooting start. 3-bar reversal. At propulsion. So even if that does stop you out, it's a good trade. Got an accumulation, propulsion move, retested, 3-bar reversal, kangaroo tail or shooting star, long wick, whichever you want to call it. Yeah, good. But the markets are rallying at the moment. I was looking at news to see if there's any reason for that. Not really see anything newsworthy that's driven it up today. Johnson, impact of Ukraine on oil and gas prices must be addressed. Yes, yes. Buy oil from somewhere else. Very easy. Boris, don't make it complicated. But yeah, not a lot else really on the news. So not quite sure why we're getting this rally, apart from the fact, as I say, sitting in accumulation for a few days. So, right. So let's have a look at the RSIs. So 4-hour RSIs, obviously, this morning we were at 90 something on the US dollar yen, which is where we were taking those shorts. But we didn't go anywhere. So we came out. Was it US dollar yen? Yeah, sorry. That's a 1-hour chart. 4-hour chart. I was going to say the RSI was a lot higher than that. So yeah, we were massively extended. We had this massive bear candle. And that's literally all we got. We've gone into an accumulation off the back of it. So really looking for a pullback and then potentially another short. We've got such a long drop on this US dollar yen. But we've got no yen strength coming through. It was this morning's moves looked like we were getting some yen strength starting, and it didn't happen. It all started to kick off, and then it all kind of pulled back. So it was just a knee-jerk reaction really up there. But it is the start of a move. So we got a lot of reversal alerts on the hourly and the 4-hourly. RSI came out of extended. Lovely head and shoulders there on the RSI as well. So it does look to me like we are starting a little bit of yen strength potentially. So we'll see if we can get some further movement down in New York on those. So if you've got any shorts on still, worth holding on to. Just looking to see. So there's just a lot of space. That's the trouble. It's difficult to pick a turning point in this, but. If we push back up into here this afternoon and start to show signs of weakness, it's probably worth having a look at another short, because I think this is the start of the next leg down on the US dollar. But I'm not sure how long it's going to last, whether we're going to get a decent amount of movement today and potentially overnight in the Asian session with the yens, and then a little bit more movement ahead of FOMC tomorrow. But technically, I just want to be long the US dollar, but it's looking really bearish at the moment, so difficult. We'll see what happens with those. DAX moved above opening range high. What's your thoughts on the DAX? Yeah, I don't have a thought on the DAX at the moment. It's difficult to call what that's going to do. On the daily, I'm short. Which is why I got short this morning. But literally all we've done, let's probably look at that on look at that over there. You can see it a bit clearer. So literally all we've done today is push down and push back up bullish. So I'm still looking for these highs to be held. So I would say if we get it back up to these highs today, which is, let's have a look at what that is. That's from 2 days ago, isn't it? Let's just move this down. So 140.94. Basically, it's 141, isn't it, really? Is what we're testing here. 14,100. So that is basically, oh Christ. Stay. Good boy. So that's what we're testing. So if we get up there again and triple top it, I'll be looking for a bounce short off of that. But where we are at the moment is very difficult to call where we're going to go from here. So at the minute, we are just sitting in a 3-day accumulation, no directional bias whatsoever. So hard one to call this afternoon. We're stuck, basically, aren't we? So if you look at this candle here as being our control candle at the moment. So this was the last strong move up. Need to change my lines. So there's our control candle there. Until we get a break and hold outside of one of those levels, we're just sitting in accumulation. So looking for shorts at the highs. Personally, I'm looking for breaks at the low. If we look at the other indices as well, NASDAQ, we've got that break of the low now, but we haven't held it down here. So we did attempt it yesterday and failed. We attempted to close below here today and failed. So again, we're sitting stuck. Actually, this is the control candle now here. So we're sitting stuck at the moment somewhere down there. Very difficult to call. Doesn't want to make new lows, and we didn't want to make new highs on the DAX. So all the indices are kind of really unsure, really difficult to pick a directional bias on at the moment. S&P's done the same. It hasn't quite got down to these lows yet. Rejected these lows here. So again, I'll be looking for some kind of break of one of those levels, but at the moment, accumulating. So FTSE's the same. Yeah, 4-day accumulation. If you look at the actual price action on the FTSE, it's literally like that. Can't decide. Can't decide. Can't decide. It just hasn't got a clue, is it? It doesn't know where it's going at the moment. So it's all in a bit of a mess. But we've gone up today. Really couldn't tell you which way we're going at the minute with any of these. So we'll see what happens at the open. I'm going to play it a bit cautious at the open and see if we can get something established at the open. And I might do some real tight scalps, but we'll see. And one bar from revenge trading, closing and turning it off. Something is up. I want no part of it. I don't fall for the traps anymore. Yeah. If you're one bar away from revenge trading, it is a good idea to close it and walk away, come back. Oil H4 wick. Check that wick forming on oil on H4. I haven't got a wick on oil on H4. Not quite sure what that is. It's just looking pretty normal to me. But I'm looking to get in long on oil at some point. Right, so RSIs we were talking about, weren't we? Got distracted by the DAX. So RSIs, US dollar yen, we had that short opportunity, took the short opportunity, made some money out of it, gone nowhere. So today we are still extended on the 4-hour. We're looking for longs and potential short opportunities on that one. US dollar Swiss, still extended. We've pushed up even further on that. We got that one candle, which was kind of an indecision candle, and then we're pushing off again. So it's very, very similar to what we've had before. One bar pullbacks and continuations. So this is really extended still and ready for a drop. All these US dollars are ready for a decent drop. They just haven't managed to get it in so far. So yeah, your oil chart is different to mine, Profster. He's just showing me a picture of his oil chart in Telegram. I don't have that on my oil. My oil looks different. But trade your charts. Trade what you see. Euro yen extended, still looking for short opportunities on all euro pairs. So this is still quite nice. It's embedded. Again, no yen strength. So very difficult. Difficult sort of to see which way we're going to go from here with the euro, and it's all going to be dependent on the yen. But what we have done is filled that gap. So it's got to potentially where they wanted to manipulate it to correct their books from a couple of weeks ago. So if we can now, this could be the point where we're going to get some movement. We've got Lagarde speaking later on this afternoon. So yeah, Lagarde's got potential to move the market and drop from there. So we'll see what happens with that this afternoon. That's 3:15 Lagarde. So be aware of her talking later. We may get some euro manipulation. Euro Swiss, very nicely pushed up and ready for a drop. It's got nicely extended, but again, I want to see this extended a little bit more than it is at the moment. But even so, based on 24.72 bounce, that's where I'll be looking for short opportunities on it. So that's a nice level to look for entries. Aussie dollars, US dollar and Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar extended to the downside. No directional bias on these two. This was more extended, obviously, down there. And if we got in, you're kind of in profit on it now, but not by enough. So these are still stuck. We looked at this one this morning, the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Nice double bounce, but it's struggling a little bit down there. So we will see. Franco, why are you so keen on the DAX? I've been keen on all indices. DAX because it opens in Frankfurt, in New York. Sorry, in New York, in the UK. So it's the best thing to trade in the morning, but don't trade it in the afternoon. ICE Gap 2, but use M15, RSI and M1 aggressive entry with the EA more conservative. With daily for directional bias. Yeah, M15 with the market reversal alerts EA, M15, M1 scalping is good. So yeah, M15 RSI extensions worth looking at, definitely. None on the Aussie New Zealand, but if you look at the indices a little bit tricky with M15, but you know, when you look at it, there's perfect setup today. We had one there, and we had one in here. Anything you'd have taken there on M1, you're out. So had one up there, down there. So yeah, M15 is great. You just got to be patient. That's the thing. You just got to be patient with these with the indices. But DAX in the morning and take your pick in the afternoon. S&P, Nasdaq, or the Dow. Or you could trade the FTSE. I mean, I don't really trade the FTSE in the mornings, but it's good to look at alongside the DAX and the Dow because they all move similarly. So GU dropping. Not on my charts. Potentially, yeah. But it all depends what happens with the US dollar. The US dollar we've not really had any movement on. It's really difficult to call. I have no idea where we're going this afternoon because we've had such a cumulative couple of days and we've also had an accumulative London session. It's very difficult to call any directional bias at the moment. I would have to say short on the indices based on the movement that we've had today. So we've had a lovely V-shaped recovery on these. I'm still looking for next leg short on the vast majority of indices. Some of them have done it like the Nasdaq, but the rest of the indices have still got a double bottom test to do and they're still in a bear market. So I'd have to be looking for shorts. After we've had such a strong push, I'd be looking for short opportunities really, but I want to wait and see what happens with some directional bias. We've got 2 minutes to the open. So just quickly going to whiz through the H1 RSIs. This is going to be quick. Euro Swiss. Everything else we were in has kind of come out. So Euro Swiss still extended. Nice short opportunity. Drop down to M5. Wait for reversal alert. You're not going to get one because it's a hideous mess. It's a hideous mess. Not really tradable. But based on H4 as well, it's a short. So actually, looking at this, we have got a gap to fill on this one. If we can get 125 ADR on that today, good opportunity for shorts. Okay, so that's a quick rundown of where we are with everything there. Sorry, just quickly checking something. So for the afternoon, I'm going to look to trade the Dow and just going to monitor the NAS and everything else basically over here and just see where we are. So looking for basically opportunities hopefully to get in short this afternoon, but we shall see. Franco, nothing is working today. Yeah, you get days like that. We all have days like that. You just have to sit through them, unfortunately. Or just turn it off and walk away and come back tomorrow. That's usually the easiest thing to do. Or be patient and wait for that super, super duper setup. So, with the Dow, looking for... that's not great. It's not really an accumulation, that, is it? I'd like to see that, but it's not. So Dow, not really sure, really. Looking for highs of yesterday, I think. At the moment, we're probably at a 61.8 retracement on the move from yesterday already. Yeah, we're spot on a 61.8 retracement, just above it. So I think wait and give it a couple of minutes at the open, and then see if we get any bearish price action coming through. S&P's pushing up nicely as well at the open, as is the NAS. DAX isn't. Neither is the FTSE. FTSE's coming down. Okay, so we got the Euro indices looking weak at the open, and all the US indices having a nice little push to the upside. It might be a little fake move or a last burst to the upside before we get a drop today. So just getting ready to potentially short this. Big old opening range going in as well. Just give it a couple of minutes. Oil does not want to give me that entry, does it? Big, strong push on all indices. Blimey. Really is off this morning. Patience is just a virtue. Sometimes it requires Valium. Correct. Take your Valium to long it now. Afternoon, Trevor. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Okay, NAS is just running into resistance here. Going short one on the Dow. Oh, stop it. God. Change the chart. You expect it to... It should, like when you drag onto here, this chart should be selected. doesn't do it. It's so frustrating. So S&P, I was just picking out potential resistance area if we're going to push higher. Okay, so there's our opening range. Big old opening range this morning. Or this afternoon. Oil just hit $100 a barrel. Afternoon, Stevie. Back to pre-war prices. Bet we don't see the same at the petrol pumps. Well, they did say on the news today the petrol pumps will be potentially following suit in the next 2 weeks. Takes a while to filter through, but yeah, I'm expecting it to push up. We got down to $95 a barrel basically, so I think we could push higher definitely from here. Okay, so the DAX and the FTSE not really doing a lot. Dow obviously we can see, S&P and the NAS stalling. So I'm basically just playing on the fact that we've had such a strong push here. We should see some weakness starting to come through into the market now. At least a little pullback, if not a little bit of a reversal. Good projection starting on the NAS. We've still got 3 minutes left on these candles though. So NAS, really good rejection off of resistance. See if we can hold and push down lower from here. If this isn't going to get rejected after this initial move, I'm not really got anywhere to stop on the way up until we basically get to a full reversal of this move on Friday's high. There's nothing resistance wise really that we're going to run into potentially there, but more than likely we're going to try and challenge the highs of Friday, so see if we can get there, but hoping this is just a deep pullback for the next leg down. Nice bearish engulfing going on the NAS. DAX bearish engulfing as well, starting to form. So nice bearish price action coming through. Just putting another sell stop underneath these lows. So if we're either going to put in a propulsion gap here which is going to get tested potentially and take it away, or we're just going to reverse this move. So I'm going to add to it if we start to come back down. Certainly looking heavy on the DAX and not so much on the FTSE, but wow, that gapped up there. Big strong move off the back of that. Just load of orders just came in on the Dow there. Getting absorbed nicely. So we've got decent wicks forming at the moment. See what happens with this candle. If we get nice decent absorption wicks here, it's just basically buyers trying to push through, sellers saying no, trying again, no, trying again, no. So there's way more selling volume coming in at the moment. You can see that on the Nasdaq as well. Let's see if the sellers can win out on this. Franco, I use Shadow Warriors, make 0.01 pip values, make 4 picks, see which ones are moving in my predicted direction, and then jump in the one I was right about. Heavy. Works most of the time, but not today. Not heard of that as a strategy, but if it works, do it. It doesn't have to work all the time. It has to work most of the time. If you get something that works most of the time, you've sorted it. Just better get a reversal alert on the DAX, Nasdaq. Still got 3 minutes left, but looking like it's going to reverse. This is the propulsion move out of the back of this accumulation here, which is out the back of this one. So we've got plenty of resistance, support basically on the way down. We've got to crack through this level here. Then we've got to crack through this level here. So there's a lot of work for the bears to do today. Looks like it's starting to kick in on the Dow. S&P potentially going to get a reversal alert as well. Just about to get gathered up on the second position. In the second short. Come on. There we go. Now I'm in the second short. Surely, come on. You're way below. What? Oh my God. Did you see that slippage? That just slipped that. What was that all about? Blech. Brokers. Yeah, all the indices coming down now. DAX, just about to get reversal out on everything, basically. Just want to see this propulsion hold. This propulsion move hold. That was crazy slippage, that was. That's 3,000 point slippage. Jeez. 3,000. Obviously that's the equivalent of 30 pips on a normal instrument, but too much. Okay, I'm just closing the first order out. About 0.5%. I'm just a bit worried they're just playing whipsaw move here, which I don't want to get caught in, because we are just basically pulling back to the 20. So in theory, all we're doing is pulling back for the next leg up, but we'll see. So reversal alert on the S&P and the Nasdaq. FTSE as well. No, didn't get it on the FTSE. Just rejecting a little bit down here. So this whole move here is kind of an accumulation move. I would class that as an accumulation, basically. Little range. That's the move out. So this is where we would expect, and we have seen multiple times, buyers stepping in right here. We're stepping in again at the minute. So I'm just a little bit cautious with this position, that this could be a buy zone, which is not going to be sustained by the sellers. So DAX is still coming down pretty hard though, as is the NAS. Still not a lot of movement there. Oil's not going anywhere. Gold's not going in. Gold's having a nice push. We've got some decent money coming in on the Swiss franc, by the looks of things at the moment. Yeah, decent money. So Swiss franc's being pumped at the minute. Haven't seen that for a while. A lot of money moving on the Swissy. And the Aussies, by the looks of things. Maybe a good day to just rub some sunshine on yourself and be peaceful. Market not going anywhere. No, exactly. I've got a load of garden furniture that turned up this morning I've got to put together, so I'm not short of things to do. Never seen so many bolts in my life. And all the instructions say hand tighten only, do not use power tools, which is always horrible. Go back to mechanical tightening of bolts. What are we in the Dark Ages? Going to get a propulsion gap put in there. There we go. My stop's not in a particularly good spot here. Got in a little bit too quick on that. Should have waited for a pullback. I might get stopped out on this one. I have reduced the stop though, so it's going to be 0.3 or 0.4 if it does stop out. David, I got into Aussie dollar CAD mean reversion trade yesterday. Got into another position after half an ADR at break even now. Aussie dollar CAD. You're long on it, yeah? Whoops. I mean, it looks like it wants to continue going to me. We've not really had a pullback on this, because I'm just about to get stopped out on the other half of that trade. This is H1M5, I take it. You should be good up to this propulsion move here, this accumulation and drop. If we're going to see more sellers, that's where we're likely to see them at 38 retracement at that propulsion move. So you've got more room. And if you've got two positions on, by the time you get up there, you have a fairly decent profit probably. Every opportunity, it could pull back all the way up into here though as well. Difficult to call, that one. There's no directional bias really on this. And we haven't got any news either until tomorrow. The Canadian dollar is 12.30 tomorrow afternoon, so this could well just be setting up for next leg down on positive CAD news tomorrow, potentially. And obviously you've got the Aussie session, the Asian session overnight, which could well let the Aussie push the CAD as well. So, and it had a reversal alert. It's looking good. Not extended on the 5 minute either. There's plenty of room. Not near ADR yet. ADR is 38 retracement. Looks like we're just about to create a new high. Really struggling at the minute on the Dow. Canada oil is only profitable over $80 a barrel. It's thick and requires more processing. Wow, you're an oil expert. I thought oil was oil. Does it come in different thicknesses? I suppose it does, yeah. Get different viscosities of oil, don't you? I guess it comes out of the ground in different conditions as well. That would make sense. I know nothing about oil. Apart from they make stuff out of it and it makes engines go. Apart from mine. Electricity makes mine go. US dollar's not particularly strong out the gates at the moment. Looks a little bit weak. Pound is even weaker. Pound is really weak. Anybody get on any pound shorts? Didn't get that 125 on the pound Swiss. So that we were looking at... Oh no, it was Euro Swiss, sorry. Was it Euro Swiss? Maybe it was Euro Swiss. No, it's the pounds, wasn't it? We were looking for 125 ADRs on the pound Swiss and the pound CAD. It's come out the gates really, really weak today, the pound. So if you're on them, it's doing well. Just going to monitor the NAS. The NAS is moving the fastest, which is usual. Just want to monitor it for bearish price action. Terminal's frozen up again. Does anybody actually trade with 8-cap broker? Has anybody else experienced this platform freeze? It's usually for a couple of minutes, once, maybe twice a day, but it seems very regular. This freezes up. There we go. Right, just about to stop out on that. Do I want to protect it? What's that? 270. That's about 0.5%. I'm just going to move that up just to see if we can get a deeper test on this propulsion gap. I don't really want to get stopped out and then it just rejects that area. We've got a battle going on between these two zones at the moment. One of them is going to win out. But if it is going to be a short, I don't really want to get stopped out there and then it just collapse. So I'd rather put another 0.2% risk on the table. And obviously then you've got the chance of getting a decent profit out of the trade. Oil may go up, but the US dollar still gets gains over the loon. Yes, hate it. Forced to reboot during heavy volumes. It's not great. If a broker's freezing up on you, it's not good. It's all right if you're not trading low time frames. If you're trading low time frames, if I was trading the 1 minute chart and scalping 10 pips and your chart's freezing like that, that's the difference between winning or losing a couple of £1,000. It's not acceptable, modern brokers. The only reason I'm on this one is because I'm doing the evaluation. So I don't have a choice. Nasdaq's still pushing and S&P is still pushing as well. So we have invalidated lows. So we've got new lows put in. We've got the market reversal alert. So the market structure has shifted from long now potentially to short. It's just how far we're going to pull back. And obviously we may get invalidated and just go. But I'm hoping this propulsion move is going to hold out. It doesn't look like it is at the minute though. It looks really, really strong. Nasdaq's pushing on highs, but getting rejected at the moment. Still got a minute left on these candles, so you know these could close like that. Need to wait for it to close. Okay, looks like I'm going to stop out on this. It's annoying. So we've held the 20 basically. So looks like we may be wanting to go higher today. So targets on the Dow. Obviously we've got a few highs to aim for. Obviously we could just push up a little bit, challenge the high of the day, and then come and sit midline. It's very difficult to know what to do today. We've had a very good range put in already. Very similar range to what we had yesterday. But we haven't done any direction, really. Obviously slightly bullish, but a bit difficult to tell where we're going today, isn't it? One of those days. Bullish at the minute. Nasdaq's starting to reject up there as well again. As is the S&P. Dow's coming down again now. So this propulsion gap, if we can break down below there in the next couple of minutes, that's potentially a good sign of rejection at this gap. So very difficult. Difficult to trade this morning, isn't it? This afternoon. Decent rejection going in at the minute. Just going to cancel that pending off under there. I'm going to put another sell stop underneath this last candle, but with a wider stop. If this is going to hold, I think the next move down is going to be, we're going to get a fairly big aggressive move again, maybe over 2 or 3 candles, back down in to test this area. But I want to get in with a slightly wider stop on it. Smaller lot size. Yeah. It's bullish. Closing it. Can't see that pending. Looks like it wants to go higher today, so FTSE's still coming down. DAX is pushing higher. Nas is pushing higher out the highs, going long one. I'm just going to use wider stops today. And just maybe try and build 0.5% profit back. How's my friend Oil getting on? Gone nowhere. Okay, it's got a new high on NAS. So looking for pullback on the NAS down into there. Oh, don't whipsaw me out. Come on. Jeez. Past phase 1 of your challenge. Off to phase 2. Well done, Chris. Good job. Who's that with, FTMO or Top Step? Wow. This is really not happening today, is it? Should have kept that short on. Oh, God. Buying one more. I'm assuming you are just pulling back. You're not going to break those lows. It's a considerably lower high, though. And not much of a higher low, if that is. My Forex funds you're doing, are you? Cool. Yeah, pre-FOMC shenanigans, potentially, yeah. It's just, we've, like as I said yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, it's quite often that before FOMC. And then even if nothing happens on FOMC and we just basically get a flat line, the next day we will get the movement. They wait to see what happens in FOMC just to confirm. You don't want to be dumping $200 million worth of foreign exchange transactions for customers ahead of a potential groundbreaking change from the Fed. They'll wait, and then we get decent volatility on Thursday and Friday. But this is horrible at the minute. Really, really untradeable on the Dow. Harry, I'm still hanging US dollar yen. Yeah, no. Still not got any idea where it's going, is it? Okay, so we didn't manage to break those lows. Looks like my bias was right to start with. Okay, out of one long. Going along one more down there. Just trying to dig myself out of that one without getting a loss, but this might backfire. I can't decide whether this is going long or short this afternoon. So we got this big buy zone here, which is within the 50-20 area. So this could well just be a deep pullback on a new leg up. But if my initial instincts were right, we're still going to pull back for a next leg down. So if I can get back up towards the opening range low, I'll just put a protective stop on both of those positions. And just try and it's either going up and I'll ride it up, or it's going back down, in which case I'll just exit these two positions long. Just trying a little damage recovery basically, but we should see some buyers start to step in here and just push up to give us a pullback, hopefully. Nasdaq's pulling off the support as well. FTSE's not happy. Neither is the DAX. No, they don't know where they want to go today, these two. We got the difficulty today is obviously divergence. We've got divergence across the indices. So it doesn't make your life easy when they're not wanting to go in the same direction. And the S&P hasn't got a clue. The S&P's in a symmetrical triangle. So we got Nasdaq pushing up, Dow pushing down, and a symmetrical triangle on the S&P. Anybody? Flip a coin. David, sure enough, the EA got you out of Aussie dollar CAD in profits, as always. Cool. Okay, so we've got buyers starting to show signs of stepping in at the minute. So if the S&P can break highs, NAS should go before that, which means with Dow, we'll be looking to come up somewhere into this area. Dow's really lagging everything this morning, this afternoon. Shouldn't be trading the Dow. NAS is the thing to trade at the moment because you've got decent market structure on it. So it's just doing its thing at the minute. Nothing's moving with any velocity there. I'm moving to break even on these. It's really undecided where it wants to go. I don't really want to get these two positions. This is 1% risk. If this does drop further, we've got a little bit more room potentially on this. I'd rather get stopped out with break even on it and then have another go at getting in. About to say flip a coin, and I said it ahead of you. Yeah, it's an absolute flip of a coin market at the moment. I don't like days where we've put in big ranges like we have today. We've had such a wide range during the Globex session. Not so much on these actually, but on the DAX we have. Okay. Try to get new highs. Dow has already just taken out the high of the previous candle, so starting to look a little bit more bullish. Okay, got a bullish engulfing on the Dow and on the S&P. I've just moved my stops up to the highs and see what price action we get. I don't have to push it beyond the highs today. I really don't. Chris just shorted gold. Yeah, it's been very gradual, very orderly today. I'd imagine that's hugging the 20 at the minute. Moving average of oscillator. No, thank you. Nicely respecting the 20. Nice long opportunity there on bullish engulfing on the Dow. Need these highs taken out really to confirm any signs of strength. NAS is just attempting new highs of the day. Let's see if we get a pop at the highs. I want to see it get through there and just give it a little pop, little bullish pop out the top, just to absorb all those pending orders there and just run with them. But we've double topped at the minute. Not strong. Market's not strong today. Toying with the idea of just taking this 0.5% and running with it. Come on. Sometimes it needs a little help. Come on, do you need me to draw some solid rocket boosters on you or something? Just go. Not sure if that looks more like a shark or a rocket. Just draw a little fin on the back. Dow's off. Doodle Jump Index Edition, yeah. Come on, this is really, really slow. Here we go, just approaching the highs. Again, having a second crack. Should get the pop out the top this time. Just getting absorbed at the top. Sellers stepping in. There we go, there's the pop. S&P should break the highs now as well. S&P hasn't quite got out of that symmetrical triangle yet. UF and UJ all over the place. Yeah, it's a tricky session. Market's a little unsure what it wants to do this morning, this afternoon even. What do I do with these? Okay, I'm going to just move my stops back over above the highs. I'm going to assume we are going to go one leg higher. So I'm just going to try and aim up there. I've got trailing stops on these at 8,000. So I'm either going to stop out. I can't lose. So I'm just going to let these see if we can run. Seems to be struggling to make new highs at the minute. We're not got any conviction to go higher today. I'm not surprised because we've had such a strong push on the other indices. So just a little worried at any moment we could just get a whacking great bear candle going, because we've got real divergence across all the indices at the moment. There's no conviction in any direction, and usually when you're like this, it's kind of an accumulation really, and at any point it can just pop, and you'll get literally 15 minutes and the whole thing will just literally shoot off in one direction or the other, and that's it. You'll be gone for the day, like the FTSE basically. So you've got the FTSE collapsing, the DAX unsure where it wants to go, looking a little bit like it wants to go bullish, but we've just had a reversal alert and retest, so it's looking a little bit bearish. The S&P's sideways. It's just everything's in a mess. So you just got to kind of go with your conviction and say, right, it's either going to make me a good 1.5–2% or not. It's a gamble this afternoon. Tricky. Okay, now we've got some movement. There you go, those rocket boosters worked. Does work. New Zealand dollar yen, ADR. Looks like we got some yen movement. Nope. New Zealand dollar. So we've got strong New Zealand dollar. I'd imagine we got a strong Aussie dollar as well. Yeah, still good movement on the Aussie dollars. So the Aussies and the New Zealands. New Zealand more than the Aussie at the moment. Fairly decent moves. Swiss franc gone weak. Market's all over the place. Really is all over the place at the minute. Really weak Swiss franc at the moment. New Zealand dollar Swiss just hit ADR high as well. Be careful this afternoon. You'd likely to get chopped to pieces. Challenging new highs on the Dow. Okay, Dow's just double topped. Closing the most profitable position off. Just letting that one run. Just going to extend the TP higher and let the trailer deal with it. Do a little pullback now. Just about to crack the opening range highs. There we go. So it just popped. There's the pop again. Through the opening range high. Just absorbed all those... basically everybody that's shorted here, all their stops have just been absorbed. Market's running off high with them. anybody that is short in here is now trapped and hemorrhaging cash. I'm getting rid of this pending on oil. I don't like it. I don't like oil. I've gone off oil. Okay, so there's our zone to the upside, which is our potential target. We do a pullback on this, so I think I might take this one off. Struggling up at the opening range high. The other indices, we're 20 minutes solid up. We're due a pullback, so potentially a good opportunity to get into a long on a pullback. But I've just banked 1600 today, so I'm up 3%. So I want to call it a day there for me personally. But if you're going to carry on trading this afternoon, just look for pullbacks and longs. But I'd be a bit careful when we get up here. We quite possibly come off the highs up here. I don't want to really chance getting all the way up there. There's not much point. We're probably going to pull back and then try and get up there. So that's really all I would tend to look for this afternoon. S&P's flagging at the highs, so really market is so tricky today. It's so undecided on direction. Just got to be very careful. Best thing to do when you've got indecision in the market is to use wide stops, because if you're using tight stops like underneath loads of candles and things, you're going to get chopped to bits in things like this. But using nice big wide stops, you're putting less risk on the table because your trades will take longer to play out, therefore you're not over trading, and also you're giving your trades more room to breathe. You can always add into a winning position, but if your stops are too tight, you're going to get stopped out a lot. So you're better off giving yourself breathing room and adding, as I did there, just to bolster your position when it does go your way. But it's a tricky market this afternoon. Gold's coming down pretty hard at the minute. $61.8 retracement. Is this accumulation? It's very extended on the RSI. Looking good for longs at some point. There we go, we're off now. Look. Now I got out. DAX, there we go, W on the DAX. Break out to the highs. Again, this one's gone so far today. Already done yesterday's range. Where's it going to go from here? It's not really got far to go, is it, from here? There's no reason, there's nothing out there fundamentally to move the markets at the moment. So I think we're probably going to have a horrible, rotationally annoying afternoon. So I would probably leave it there if you've made enough this afternoon. Let's have a quick look at where we are with ADRs. So the pound CAD, we came straight off 100 ADR. Reversal that was miles away, but we came off of ADR and just accumulated. We are dropping again now, so potentially next leg down on the pound CAD starting, because that was just about extended. We looked at this pullback. It's the 61.8. So looking good for next leg down potentially on the pound. Really struggling to understand why the pound is quite so weak. I think it's just economically, inflation is just driving everything down at the moment. Pound Swiss, that's still pushing up a little bit at the moment. So we were looking for 125 ADR on the pound Swiss. That propulsion gap off the back of that accumulation. So good looking short opportunity there. New Zealand dollar Swiss. New Zealand's are pushing up at the moment. 100 ADR. Look at that. Not stopped. And New Zealand dollar yen. Again, big New Zealand moves. And obviously US dollar yen we know about. So US dollar is pushing up again against the yen. Little bit of US dollar strength coming in, but this is not massive. So looks like we've got a weak yen again. More weakness on the yen at the moment. That can all change, obviously. So there's your ADRs at the moment. Nothing particularly exciting there. The pounds, I think, are probably the best ones to take today. Pound CAD's already gone. Pound Swiss is setting up nicely now. So look for a reversal alert on that one. We're just taking out the highs again of New York and pushing down. So that potentially looks like a nice short up there. Okay, that's all I've got for you today. No RSIs. H4 RSIs are pretty much the same as they were earlier. So all the hourlies have all turned off now. So tomorrow, obviously, we've got non-farm payroll. We've got FOMC. So we'll have a look at the market tomorrow morning and see where we've gone. I suspect we're just going to pull back during the Asian session to where we were today. So CAD CPI tomorrow afternoon, followed by retail sales at the same time, actually. Retail sales and CPI for the CAD, 12:30 in US dollar. And then we've got crude tomorrow afternoon, and then 6 p.m. Good old FOMC, 6 and 6:30. So I'm never around for this one, unfortunately, because I have a spin class which starts at 6:30, which is really annoying. But I'm never around for that one. Rates are expected to be increased. So I'm not planning on actually actively trading it, but I will have positions which are being traded at the moment, which will be affected by that one. Let's just have a look and see if the EA is taking any positions new today. Nothing on the hourlies. 4 hourly, nothing banked either. Just sitting in accumulation, funnily enough. Same as everything else. Euro odd, I've got one position on. So this is the this account here, this IC Markets account. This is the one that's running the signal service on Forex Forex Factory on MQL5. I turned this off completely while the war was on as well. So I was just basically waiting for these positions to correct themselves. So it made 3% on it, which is okay. But yeah, so that one's been sitting silent really. So no new trades taken this afternoon, just those 3 from the position trading perspective. So I'll leave it there this afternoon. Be aware of news obviously tomorrow. There's no overnight news. We've got Lagarde speaking at 3:15. So just be aware of your euros. If you've got any euro pairs on, we've got Lagarde talking. So euro's coming down very hard at the moment. Got to look at that. So that shows you how weak the pound is at the moment. Euro is coming down really hard at the moment, but it's beating the pound. The pound is weaker than the euro at the moment. That's not good, is it? Yeah, so be aware of euro movement potentially this afternoon when Lagarde is speaking. I don't know if there's anything particularly planned that she's going to be saying, but it is just normal potential volatility ahead. You never know what she's going to say. So, all right, I'll leave it there this afternoon. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be in the Telegram group. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:50, and we will try and milk some more out the Frankfurt session. And yeah, just trade safe this afternoon. Be just a little bit careful. It's all a bit undecided at the moment with the indices, so just be a bit careful if you're scalping these at the minute. Because I just got a feeling I don't know what it is. I've just got this feeling this is the final push before the next leg starts. But it might not be starting till tomorrow. But just seems like they just want to accumulate at the moment. So, all right, guys. Hopefully, you have a profitable afternoon. Good luck out there. And if you need anything, come in the Telegram group. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:50, and I will see you then. Have a good one.